Right. Well then, we should be streaming. Yes, this is something that should be happening at this point. See, and indeed it is. That took a remarkable 3 minutes to set up. Let me just check the audio. And it's perfect. Right. I'll probably mention this a couple of times more during the stream, but this took a remarkable 3 to 4 minutes to set up. Twitch and Hitbox, 40 minutes minimum for me. This took like 3 minutes to set up. Okay, yeah, you know what? This streaming thing is not the worst thing in the world on YouTube. Let's set it up like so. So I actually should have done this before starting, but you know what? It does not matter. It does not matter. Jug tries to play Dark Souls. Yes, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Dark Souls remastered. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Alright. Let's continue. What do you mean by continue? Well, I've just uncovered a problem. I can't see the chat. Oh, but I can tab out very quickly. Alright, doesn't matter. Okay, so here's what's going on. I am gonna desperately try and play Dark Souls. I've never played Dark Souls. This is Dark Souls Remastered. And I'm gonna pretty much just fail at this for the next few, I don't know, hours probably. Like 2 hours sounds about right. If we can get some proper frame rate going. No? No? Better? What the hell is going on? Okay, give us a second. Let's turn this off, turn this up, CP, Jesus fucking Christ, what the hell is going on? It's all falling apart already with 2 minutes into the stream. Okay, this should be good. Yeah? Somewhat? Problem with this game is, you know what the problem with this game is? It doesn't have an options menu. What do you mean, Juggernaut? It doesn't have an options menu. Look, okay? This is not an options menu. This is a disgrace. For God's sake, turn off VSync. There's options here. Display, show subtitles, and show blood. That's all my options. Come on, this is supposed to be the remastered version. Remastered what? The motion blur and anti-aliasing. Is that it? Come bloody hell on. Locked by some contraption. Lovely. Okay. The hell is up with this FPS? What? Why? Okay. Getting like a little bit of stuttering. Let me check the thing, and I need to do it like so. Unfortunately, I only have one monitor. Actually, I hear you. Good. Excellent. No, bad again. I know. And it's not the upload speed. It's at least it bloody hell, it shouldn't be. Because I'm looking at OBS and it's going okay for the video and audio thing. The upload is going okay, but the FPS in Dark Souls is a disgrace for some reason. Viewers will experience buffering. Okay, let's do something about that buffering, shall we? Let's do something about that buffering. So when streaming, CBR 1500 bitrate. Lower it, I suppose. I don't know. I mean, this seems decent. Okay, let's Capture a specific window? No, it's just a second. Just a second. Bear with me. Bear with me. It'll all be fine. Don't worry. Okay, here we go. So, image. Existing. No. Create new image. Yes. It's going a little bit slow. I'll give you this. I'll give you this, but just bear with us. Just bear with us. Steam BRB. Stream even BRB. There we go. This should now be a completely still image to use between streaming and this thing, yeah? Uh-huh. Okay. Now, unfortunately, Dark Souls doesn't seem to want to be streamed. So, as a result, I'm gonna have to change the game. I really, you can't test this without starting the actual live stream, I'm afraid. But until they patch this out, I don't know, because I've looked online. See, I've looked online, and people have this issue across the board, pretty much, with 1070 cards and 1060 cards delivering subpar performance for some reason for one reason or another. That it just doesn't seem to work very well, and yeah, just that's the case apparently. For no obvious reason, the game doesn't want to work that all too well. So hey, you know what we can do instead? We can play some Europa Universalis, I think, and we can change to that. For mucking about. Shall we change it to that? Yes. I think we should. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Viewers should not experience buffering because this I'm streaming literally a still image. I'm not even streaming it, it's just a still image. It really, there shouldn't be any buffering. Let's see if there's something happening here. No. Try and refresh this. I'll just load up EU4 and we can play that because yeah, apparently Dark Souls has terrible FPS. I tried. God knows I tried, but hey. Not my fault it doesn't work, right? I'll tell you what the problem was. I was streaming at 60 FPS. Yeah, streaming at 60 FPS I cannot handle. Now, that is like, you need a NASA computer for that. Streaming at 60 FPS is not for this channel. No. That's like a couple of gigabytes every few minutes. I am nowhere near capable of delivering that amount of data to YouTube, even at lower bit rates. So that was the issue. Now it should be good. YouTube is saying it's good. I am gonna up the stream quality a little bit though, because I'm feeling a little bit adventurous. There we go. Let's try like that. So this should be okay. Right, this should be good. Little bit of a clunky interface. Little bit, but playable. There we go. This should be okay. So, we're playing a strategy game. It does, like, the FPS doesn't matter anyway, right? We're playing at 1 FPS anyway. You have nothing to see. It's all in the mind and the thought. So, welcome to 1506 England. Current ruler, Queen Mary I Lancaster, also known as Bloody Mary. But as a wise man once wrote, had Mary won in the end, it would have been Bloody Elizabeth, or it would have been Elizabeth that was the bloody one. So, Mary I Lancaster, not Bloody Mary. If you say she's Bloody Mary, off with your head. I just realised what I just said. Okay. Currently, England won a big thing in Europe. It won a personal union with France. This means that eventually, 100 years from now, France and England will become one country, known as Britain. That's how history remembers it? Shut the fuck up. Okay, well, partially, you know. They actually lost to France, and all their holdings in Europe were lost, but shh. That's not relevant at this point. In our Britain, or in our England, we won all the wars against France. Or a couple of them did end in white pieces, but shush, okay? With the help of Austria, Castile, and Portugal, we now have a personal union over France. This means that England's objectives in Europe are done, apart from this little annoying bastard here, which we will get eventually, which is exactly why there's 40,000 angry Englishmen sitting at his gates, but we have a truce for now. Now, that's going to happen later. Here is where the crux of things is, though. This is nothing. I mean, it's nothing right now, but we're going to get the Puritans to mobilize all the poor folks out of London and ship them over here. Right? Like, literally start dragging them out of their homes, shipping them off to the New World to build us an empire. How on earth they managed, history doesn't quite know. I mean, not exactly. I mean, they sort of just survived there, and they were really good at surviving. So, anyways, we're going to do just as the English did, and we're going to ship people off into the New World. Okay? Let's check the stream. It says, not receiving enough video material, there will be buffering. Right. Now I'm dealing with conflicting information here, because I'm looking at OBS, and OBS is telling me there is no buffering, everything's fine. YouTube's telling me there's buffering. If there's buffering, blame it on the Google servers, because it's not on my end. Remarkably, somehow we have 100 prestige. We were at -5 a couple of years ago, but that personal union victory was a great thing indeed. So, let's continue then. What we're looking for is, well, obviously mass genocide of all the nations, of all the natives, sorry. I mean, that's like, first thing you do in Europe Universalis, you genocide all the natives. However, what we're looking for is a vast colonial empire, and we're looking to backstab the Spanish. Why? Well, now the French are my allies, right? I mean, I needed the Spanish to beat the French. Now that I have the French, I'm going to use them to beat the Spanish, and ultimately crown myself king of all the three sort of little blocks here. Right? There's 3 blocks. Seems sensible, right? Like, politically speaking. Yeah. Okay. Castile, however, is a good friend of mine for now, so we're going to keep him that way until they start getting colonies in the Americas. But that's a little bit of a ways away for now. Can we do something in Europe? That is the question. Probably not, and I do understand the argument, have you not done enough? Yeah, that's okay, that is fair enough. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Here's a funny little thing, though, that I've noticed, and this is new in the game. You can't annex Scotland. If you go over to Influence, Annex Vassal, which, I mean, this is how it works for pretty much everyone. Now you can. So up until a certain date, you can't annex Scotland diplomatically. You can conquer them, but you can't annex Scotland diplomatically, which is weird. Because it would say this will cost 0 Diplo per month unless conditions change, and it will be done by unknown. So I think since a couple of years ago, this changed, and now we can actually annex Scotland, and I will. But you used to not be able to, at the beginning of the game, for some reason, diplomatically annex them. I think you need a certain admin tech for that, or a certain date or something. but it's a hidden stat. It's not something that you can see. It just like bugs out and says you can't annex them until a certain date. It doesn't tell you the date. It just says unknown, which is weird. Okay. How's the stream looking, though? I would like some confirmation, if at all possible. Because chat seems okay. Video output seems okay. Yeah. I mean, YouTube says it's not, but I don't know who to trust, because OBS says it is. I'm gonna try and watch my own stream, see how it seems. I don't know. It looks okay to me, but what the hell do I know? Weird. Okay, you know what? Whatever. If nothing else, the VOD will be okay. So the VOD will be relatively okay. So I'll put that up if the live stream experience itself isn't up to snuff, as it were. But I'm streaming at a relatively okay bitrate, and yeah, this should be more than watchable in the VOD, if nothing else. It depends on the regional servers, like way more than it should, but hey. Right. When is this finishing as a colony? It's 65 per year. Oh, also, Bleeding Guns and Tech. Yeah, we'll pay for that. Also, another exploit. Estates. They've changed the way estates work a little bit. Some of the modifiers have been changed, but more importantly, the AI just gave up on them. That's right, the AI does not use estates at all. Doesn't use estates interactions. It will feed provinces to the estates if need be, to avoid disasters, and it will give them the amount of land that they want. But the AI does not interact with the estates, which means all of a sudden stuff like diplomatic support and administrative support and hell, pretty much everything else, more or less, depending on what you need, is now very relevant and very useful, because the AI doesn't use it. Which means if you use the loyalty of your estates a couple of times in exchange for administrative support or diplomatic support, you can actually get ahead of tech or catch up on tech relatively decently to the AI, which is it's very, very powerful and makes the game a little bit easy. Well, a little bit easier, I suppose. At any rate, what about Brittany? Till when? Let's click. No, there we go. When do we have a truce? 1521. Okay, so 100 years from now. Subjectively, 100 years from now. Let's drill our soldiers. See if we can't get. You're free, right? Yes, William Lancaster, and you're not terrible as well. Congratulations, you're going to train with your men probably for the next 20 years. You're going to be in the army for the next 20 years, training the troops. As far as princes go, and as far as royalty is concerned, it's a pretty terrible situation to be in. But that's simply your fate. You're going to have to deal with it. Internal conflicts in Koyunlu. I can never pronounce that. Okay. The Ottomans seem to be held back for now. I mean, they took parts over here, and then Wallachia as well. But they're going pretty damn slow in the east, so the Ottomans are not a problem. Muscovy, on the other hand, is doing pretty okay. They need one good war with the Golden Horde to form Russia, basically. Maybe not literally, but to functionally form Russia. No, that's all they need. Right. Let's see. We have a free diplomat. Usually you do stuff with free diplomats. In this particular case, though, find myself not knowing what to do with him. Let's go and... Sorry. We can guarantee Austria. Sure, let's guarantee Austria. I thought Austrians would have been a little bit stronger than this, but... I suppose they are the emperor, but still. There is the Reformation somewhere? Yes, there is. There is the Protestant Reformation, which will fail unless England converts to Protestantism. Is that true, Juggernaut? Questionable. Questionable. It may be. It may as well be true. I've read a couple of works on that. Like, would Protestantism have failed without England's support? It's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know, and I don't think anyone can tell you. But tell you what, it would have. Hold on. Did one institution come from us? It did, didn't it? Yes, colonialism originated in Essex? Why Essex, of all places? I mean, it could have been, you know, London. The capital, well-developed, trade node, city, sent colonials from here into the New World. No? I don't mind, but still. Okay, what can we do? We can pass the Act of Unification, and we can do the dissolution of monasteries. I already did this, but having changed religions, it resets. Okay. So Protestantism gives us national tax modifier plus 10% and improved relations plus 15%. Also makes us very tolerant of Catholics, Orthodox, and Coptics. And tolerance of true faith even is 4% or 4 points or whatever. Good. Now this will piss off pretty much everyone in Europe, because I'm one of the first Protestant nations, but it makes sense from two perspectives, both a roleplay one and a literal one in terms of future and all that. Because I've been excommunicated by the Pope twice, and I have 0 papal influence, so I might as well throw my lot in with the Protestants. And with France being under a personal union, they can't join a Catholic league or something like that. So, yeah. When can I integrate you? Nation which has been a junior partner in a union for at least 50 years and 190 relationship. Okay. That's acceptable. That's reasonable. Now, unfortunately, there might be a couple of people that, shall we say, won't be so accepting and progressive to accept the new religion. So we're going to need to put those revolts down, and rather violently, I'm afraid. Also have the Army of Scotland in the New World. And, ooh, colony became self-sufficient. Lovely. This is what we were looking for a pretty damn long time. You have no colonists to send. Do I not? No, I do not. I've sent both of them down there. Okay. Let's put you on the ships and put you, like, down there, or should we go... Should we start building the 13 colonies, or should we start building Canada first? I think, yeah, make Canada great again. Make Canada British again. And it's still technically British. I know. Right. What's Castile doing in here? Go away. Go away. Mine. Like, mine. North America, mine. Go away. I was going with this somewhere. I'm not sure where. Yes, I have the Army of Scotland in this sort of area, and they've been here for the last 30 years, I think, trying to find El Dorado. El Dorado's real, I promise you. Yes, I know it's just a story in our world, but in this alternate history, it's real, I promise you. We just need to find it. Yeah. That's at least what I keep telling myself. I'm not sure at this point. I'm really not sure, but I've been told El Dorado is real, so not sure if it's like a Santa situation where they just tell you until you grow up. But you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see. We can build stuff for production and marketplaces and the likes. We don't need this though, do we? Well, we'll build one in Essex, because apparently Essex is a very strong trade centre. Naval docks though. Local sailors plus 50. Naval force, yeah, we need this. Now, usually I'm not so keen on the Navy in EU4, but we're doing a very, very sort of roleplay-ish British playthrough, so I suppose that's fair enough, right? Now, there is also missions, and yeah, I was pretty damn shocked as well. This is how missions look now. It's not a random one of 3 things that you select and can or cannot do for a minor benefit. They're now fixed. So, and you can go down all these different trees and routes. They're actually a lot like missions. They're actually a lot like national focuses in Hearts of Iron. So what you do is you can complete any of them at any time, unless there's a specific mission order to complete it at after a certain date or whatever, unless it's related to time. But basically, you can complete these at any time and in any order. Well, more or less. You can seize Burgundy and have it be a thing, but until you get to the mission Seize Burgundy, you can't claim benefits for it, but you can complete it. So, yeah, and then certain missions are unlocked, like this one ahead of, sort of, outside of the tree above. We can renovate Oxford. So, Cambridge and Oxford need to have a university. We can't build universities yet, but there you go. We can do that. Change the game really quickly. I actually forgot to do that in the stream settings. That is somewhat unprofessional. There we go. Okay. Churches are helpful. Very conducive to the overall state of the empire, but not right now and not in these provinces, because 0.13 is not worth it. I figure we just need to wait and build up a bit of a war bank. Tell you what we do need to do as well, though, which I forgot again, and I keep forgetting. Mothball the forts. Because you're not at war, and you won't be for a very long time, and you're paying one hell of a pretty buck for those forts. Alright, conversion successful. So, slowly, England will become Protestant. Of course, Queen Mary I, known as the first Protestant ruler of England. What do you mean, Henry? Would you mean the Anglican Church? I have no idea what you're talking about. Mary I, known as Bloody Mary, Bloody Protestant is what they called her. Bloody Protestant. No debate in Parliament. Okay. One province will get -10 development. No, that's not good. This one I'm looking for. +1 missionaries, +1% missionary strength. And it's worth spending money on, spending military support on. earning Diplo points on. Hell, even granting local autonomy, I think, so we can get it instantly. And we can always reduce the local autonomy of that place. Actually, let's do that right away. Local autonomy... Can't reduce it yet. Because they are a little bit upset, mainly because of the wrong religion, and we are going through a turbulent time, but eventually we will be able to remove that. And the 2 missionaries will speed things up quite a bit. They will cost a pretty penny too, though. Missionary maintenance is a thing, if I remember correctly, yeah. Well, not really, it's like 1 ducat per month. For England, 'tis not that much. Yeah, I know about this. I need this place, but the truce lasts until a long, long time. Okay. Greenland. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do colonies work now? Does anyone know? Oh, I'll take a look at over here. Does anyone know? How do colonies look? Those will experience buffering again. No, they won't. I shan't allow it. Well, this thing says there's no buffering, so I'm gonna trust it. Maybe I'm putting my faith in the wrong hands. Who knows? Again, like I said, there is the VOD. How do colonies work now? I know that they become their sort of own independent thing after a while, which is I'm okay with that. That's good, but well, overseas colonies do. But when is it still after 5? 5 colonies in the region become an independent thing. Because if not, I'm going to keep Greenland forever. Because Greenland doesn't have 5... sorry. It doesn't have 5 provinces. At any rate, there's a funny little thing when searching for the Golden City. Whenever you walk across someone's territory, you get an event about a dog. And 2 options. 1, it's just a dog, lose 10 prestige, or lose 100 opinion with the nation you're crossing over. Basically telling them, if anything happens to the dog, you will know our wrath. So don't mess with the dog. And I'm pretty sure that dog is now some sort of divine beast. Because every single nation I've walked across hates me, and I've just brought that animal up as a divine creature. That's pretty much what happened. So, you know what? Mostly business as usual. A little bit of genocide, a little bit of chemical warfare, biological warfare in the New World. Wiping civilizations out. And a divine beast dog. Yeah. This game has gotten a little bit silly. Between me and you, it's gotten a tiny bit silly since last I played it. Because, I mean, I was colonizing a lot back then, a couple of months ago. No divine beasts. No, sir. No divine beasts on my end. Let's see. Castile. You're alright, I suppose. What about the Danes? I almost don't want to meddle with Europe. Like, I almost want to leave it as it is, and, you know, I think that's exactly what we're going to do. If it were a Let's Play of sorts, I would probably meddle a little bit in Europe. Because it's kind of not that interesting to just sit back and let everything sort of happen in Europe. While you're sort of at the sidelines and just observing the entire thing. But, here, we can actually afford that, this being a live stream and mostly banter and, exploration anyway, so... Here's a funny little thing. Seeking support from the clergy, I'm somehow down to 3 prestige again. If you make them very influential, that's actually a good thing if you can balance their influence between being very high and between it being a problem. Like, if you can do that, then it's actually very good, because it increases their buffs for loyalty, and they're mostly... They either tolerate you or they're loyal to you, because if they're not, again, you fall into a crisis situation. So it's actually very, very good to keep them exactly where they are. We have... I'm the first power in the world. Of course I am, because France is no longer a... Because I am France, right? Yeah, Ming being second. Okay. Subjects. Let's interact with the subject of France, and let's see. By paying 10% of their income each month, yes, I will knowledge share with you. And seize land. No. Wrong province. No. Divert trade. Force religion. I don't want to. I'm gonna annex them soon anyway, so let's keep them Catholic. Sorry, let's keep them Catholic. France has a pretty damn high liberty desire. Can we do something to enforce religion upon them? And keep them, stop them from revolting? No? Okay. So we'll just have to wait then. And, well, I'll tell you what we can do. Improve relations at 197. But our relations are increasing over time. So, sort of like a, you don't love me now, but you will grow to love me situation. Okay, tell you what, we don't need the colonist here, because these natives will not attack us at all. Instead, we'll send dude over there. Build up that colony. We absolutely have the economy to support that. Okay. I'm also in a golden age, and I've done so not out of proper judgment or capability, but because everyone triggered their golden age at the same time. No, I'm not kidding. So, Castile, Aragon, France, Austria, Hungary, Poland, Bohemia, Portugal, Sweden, Denmark, Pomerania, Saxony, Naples, and that's about it. Bohemia, I'm not sure if I mentioned them. All triggered their golden age with like a month between, and then a year later, I think the Ottomans or someone else triggered their golden age as well. So at which point I felt under pressure, and I triggered my golden age too. Bit of a whoopsie, maybe, but yeah. I mean, what can you do? At that point, literally, what can you do? I'm gonna move this army over here just to put down the revolt a little bit. I think I'm gonna have to pay here. Lose 20 loyalty, can't have that. Yeah, I'm gonna pay for you. Okay, yeah, just keep the revolt down. Taking out a loan. Really? The Amazons. Hold on. In Iowa, there are 2 small tribes with very special arrangement. The women live by themselves, and the men only have to visit a couple of times a year. Any boy, child, father this way is returned to the father, and the girls kept by the women. I mean, I'm going not based off of the points, but yeah. You've been invited to a tribe of exclusively women, and you are handsome conquistadors from England. I understand that there is a bit of a linguistic barrier there. There's a bit of a linguistic problem with that sentence. I completely understand that problem and see it. Don't get me wrong. I know. I see the problem. It's there. It's okay. But, and, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? For England, for king and country, huzzah! I can totally imagine them. There was a comic, and I shouldn't be saying this because this is gonna end up as a VOD later. But it was two Vikings doing Viking things, right? Blood, plunder, victory at sea, and all that, you know, fighting and feasting and whatnot. And you get a couple of scenes of that, and then the final scene is the two of them partaking in a certain bonding ritual, shall we say, while screaming blood, thunder, victory at sea. Both of them. One sort of slightly, you know, bent over, and the other one sort of from the flank, if you catch my drift. It's the most hilarious thing I've read, and it's like a mini comic thing. And no, it's not that kind of comic. It's supposed to be funny, and it is. But I've seen that like a couple of years ago, and I remembered it this morning for some reason. And I just keep hearing like two grumpy old masculine men screaming blood, thunder, victory at sea. And I just keep seeing that scene in my head over and over again, and I cannot remove it from my brain. Expansionist idea is merchant. Oh, lovely. Okay, we have a merchant. Now, behold, as I open the trade map, because they keep changing it, and spend the next 30 to 40 minutes figuring out what to never mind. I'm going to collect from trade here, because it's only 67%. Thought that was going to go a lot slower than it did. It went okay. Like, yeah. That was the correct thing to do. That was... Okay, when we get a third merchant, then we're going to spend, like, 40 minutes looking at trade. But until then, we are sorted. I can build a couple more ships, and I think I will build me nothing, because I have a loan to pay back. 179. Okay, we'll wait for the loan to go away, and then we'll build ships. I mean, I've gone pretty much. I've other than the Union War with France and, you know, defending. What was it? The event. You get a war with France now through an event. The surrender of Maine. And this was supposed to be surrendered to the French as a part of some sort of treaty that we signed prior to the game starting, but now you can sort of... nobody really in England wanted to surrender this without a war, so they can be like, you know, actually we're not going to give you that. And you pretty much end up at war instantly with England. So that's the start of the 100 Years' War. Sort of scripted that way, and other than that war and the one with the one for the Union, pretty much beelined the expansion route for us to take. Hold at least 3 thrones. Hold on. Hold 3 thrones. Have 2 junior partners, and the third one being my own. Yeah. Never mind. I was confused. It says 3, but it says 0 out of 2 or 1 out of 2. But yeah, it's 3 yours included. No, we don't need transport ships here. No, we don't. And we might have to deal with revolts in England, from either like Catholic zealots or separatists or something like that. So let's bring the ships on back, and these guys can stay there. Native assimilation. Okay, cool. Trade goods changed to fish. Okay. I mean, fish is... Was it fish that's now expensive, or is it salt that's now expensive? The two changed by, like, 200% or something at one point. Which is a little bit weird. Stream health is now orange. I don't know. You tell me. According to YouTube, but you know what? This is every streaming website does this. I feel like you get contradictory information. I've tried streaming on Hitbox. I've tried streaming on Smash something TV, which is the old Hitbox, and it's now changed its name into that. Probably bought by another company. Haven't really been tracking that. But yeah, let's tell you what. Oh, that's unfortunate. I can't run ads here, can I? Like, I can. I can't run ads when I want to. Is the issue, isn't it? A little bit, yes. A little bit, yes. I can't seem to run ads when I want to. That's unfortunate. See, that was what I was hearing on Hitbox and stuff like that. It was really useful. So I'll go to, like, grab, I don't know, something to drink or go to the toilet or whatever, and I could run ads in the meantime, and you don't lose anything. I earn a little bit of cash from it, and everyone's happy. But the way things are right now, you're gonna have to, like, stare at this screen or stare at the BRB screen or whatever, which is... It's all the same to you, but... kind of is and kind of isn't. The ads have been getting better, though. That's preposterous. I know. Heresy. Burn him. He just wants to milk us. No. Like, genuinely, though, I've seen some legitimately funny ads. That and targeted ads have gotten a lot better, too. Because, from what it seems like, if you're listening to music, you'll get more ads about music. Or you'll get a Coca-Cola ad, in which case, you know, you'll get that ad no matter what, because they pay millions. But still, thank you, by the way, Coca-Cola, for existing and paying millions for ads. You help, you genuinely do. But it seems to me like if you're listening to music, you get more music-related ads, and that's a good thing. And also, I've been sort of because I've let myself loose a little bit over the course of last month, uni and all that. So I started exercising a little bit to tighten up, as it were. And so I'll put on like a playlist or something, and in between songs there'll be an ad, which is basically like the full-length song of a band that's advertising itself. And I'll listen to that, and I'm like, oh, hold on, that's not on my playlist, but I like it, though. You know, it fits. I like it. Oh, maybe I'll keep the song in the playlist. Maybe I'll go and look up the band. Maybe I won't. Doesn't matter, though. It's targeted. It's good. It's useful. It's, above all, it's far less annoying than what it used to be up until now. So, yeah. It's really... I like it. They've changed the system up a little bit. It's good. It's a lot better than it used to be. You get, like, 30-second non-skippable ads or whatever, which... God, they pay for it. That one ad is worth as much as 50 skippable ones, but I understand that viewer abandonment skyrockets through the roof when you play something like that. Well, actually, you don't play something like that. It's just YouTube plays it on its own, but still. Okay, you're at war with someone. One, the second, the third, even. At war with Morocco, Tunis, and Mali. You're still going for the African thing, aren't you? Yeah, I helped them actually with. I've been a little bit disingenuous. I did go to war for Portugal and Spain down here to help them out a little bit, and it did. You know, it sort of worked. They gained a little bit of territory. I gained prestige, influence, money. It's okay. It was pretty damn good. Here's a question. Considering I'm so dang developed, can I offer knowledge sharing? Castile has loans. Ah, yes. Let's, Portugal has loans. Austria. We're sharing it with France. Until... so you can only share with one nation. Makes a lot of sense, because otherwise you could just... God, you could make a fortune. Like, 10% off of every nation in Europe, and you'd be... Holy hell, that'd be a bit overpowered. I understand. Cape Cod again changed to fish. Is fish exclusively what we can find in the New World? Because I don't know. It seems a little bit wrong. Here that the great empires were built on gold, slaves, spices, tea, sugar, tobacco. Not fish. What was this? The great fishing empire of England. Our fisheries will block out the sun and we shall fish in the shade. Is that it? Oh, come on. Conquistador Frederick Bouton no longer serves us. Well, between me and you, he was a bit of an idiot. But don't worry, here comes Francis something, and he's even worse. He is genuinely even worse. Meanwhile, though, apparently we're in love with Protestantism. Nobody's revolting against it, nobody's complaining, nobody's rebelling, it's all going marvellously. Can't start a debate in 7 years. Really, all of this is a bit glorious, isn't it? Promote mercantilism for 89. Quartermaster, the English Protestant quartermaster. Who's my military advisor right now? Yeah, I'll listen to them. Catholic. You lied to me. There is no Protestant. Oh, whatever. Not that it matters too much. But yeah, it said he was going to be Protestant, didn't it? It did. It said he was going to be a Protestant advisor, and guess what he's not? He's not a Protestant advisor. Huh. Alright. Check the HRE really quickly. Does France hold any territories in the HRE? No. Okay. Good. Italy's been lost. This all belongs to the HRE, and Spain is in a bit of a problem then, isn't it? Well, no, as long as you have enough guns, you're not in a problem, but... They might start bickering. Oi, that's mine. No, it's not. It's mine. No, it's not yours. It's mine. Bit of back and forth there, yeah? Here's a question. Castile. Friend. Would you like to buy ships from me? No. Denmark. Would you like to buy ships from me? No. Muscovy. Tovarish. Would... Never mind. Not a lot of people that want to buy ships. And we're in the shipbuilding business. Fortunately, there's not much of a market for it. Ottomans? No. Oh, it was worth a shot, wasn't it? Yeah, was? Let's just assume that it was. French Liberty Desire at 66. That's not very encouraging. Could be a lot better. What can I do to make you happy? No. I could grant you a province. I don't want to do that either. I think I'll just wait for you to like me more over time, because our what's it called? Our relationship overall is increasing on a monthly basis. So, about army professionalism is the thing with EU4 nowadays. A lot of sliders, right? A lot of sliders, a lot of this and that, and you have to worry about this and you have to worry about that, and there's all sorts of stuff. You don't really get to... I suppose you do, you know, you can focus on war, you can focus on colonization, you can focus on whatever you want, still. There's a lot of stuff, like, in general. There's too much stuff. Now, edicts are a thing, and... there's so much to click. And I think the real issue is a lot of it depends on kind of arbitrary and vague and intangible things, like power. Around 90% of what you do in this game is power. Paper power, bird power, and sword power. You know, there's a very funny review about this on Steam. It's like, EU4 is a game where you play a magical wizard which uses his hand to click bird power, paper power, and sword power, and then you use your magical powers to drag ships, fleets, and men into all sorts of wars, conflicts, and strive for the control of Europe, yeah? But you basically play a magical wizard, which... Immortal magical wizard, which is true. True, if you look at it like that, yeah. Absolutely true. There was a game where you actually played that. It's God, this, like, I think I mentioned this a couple times before on the channel. Probably like the oldest strategy game I've ever played. But I remember that you could select units, right? You could send them over and they could fight the enemy and all that. Well, that's fine and dandy. But what would happen is you could also use your cursor to do damage to buildings and enemy units and stuff like that, and you could sort of select what your cursor is going to be and change basically the damage and the fire rate, I think, or something like that. Now, you couldn't click in the fog of war, but on the battlefield, you can use your cursor to actually click and do damage to units, and I thought that was like a genius little bit of... interactivity, I suppose. But there, I think you did literally play like a wizard that was controlling all those armies, so... It's an old game, though. It's a stupidly old game. Anyways, let's explore something. The American East Coast. Sure. To the Americas. Is that a whale? That is legitimately a whale under the water. It looks like a Leviathan from Stellaris. I still have some trauma from that game. Please disregard. My god, that would have been terrifying. Imagine though, like a Leviathan the size of fucking Europe lands here and goes plop. Hi. All of a sudden, stuff like 2% tax increase, you know, in retrospect, rivaling people for influence and diplomatic power, in retrospect. What do we get now? I suppose this, because I'm not going to use the edict, because I'm not going into that. I'm sure edicts are useful. I'm sure they're cool, but no. He says that now, looking for what an edict can do for him. Basically, you pay money for it, don't you? Yeah. Pay money for it, and you can reduce stuff or increase stuff. Like, the only one worthwhile to me, it seems like, is either institution spread, if you're a little bit desperate, or hell, local missionary strength is good too, isn't it? And the edicts don't last that long either. Tell you what. Few edicts. Let's do this one. And it should mean that I can convert this a little bit faster. There we go. We even use an edict. Hallelujah. Yearly army tradition, yearly naval tradition, army tradition. How much is it? Discipline is at 100. Morale of armies is good. Force limit is okay. Cavalry to infantry ratio, we know about that. Combat width. There we go. Army tradition is 31.2. Not bad. It's not very good, but it's not bad either. I'm looking to increase professionalism, honestly. Like, professionalism at least to this. Salaried soldiers, and then, you know, then we can go up from there, but at least just to not have a levied army anymore would be immensely helpful. Converted Avalon. We converted one of the colonies already. Wow. Okay. We're focusing here. Because we're paying for this. Like 0 point something in gold, but we're paying for it. Also, can we stop the AI paradox, please? Can we stop the AI from entering the golden era when the current age is going to last for only like a few months? Like, when you get this warning, nobody should enter the golden era. Why? Save it. Save it for something else. Because if you don't, you're going to regret it. Basically. American East Coast, Caribbean Sea, Atlantic South, America. I'll go there. It really is a bit of a problem, isn't it? Because now the AI has wasted its golden era, and it can't change it. You know, it can't go back. It's now wasted forever. You're sure you're going to have a little bit better modifiers for the next few months. That's not worth the rest of the game. I keep yawning. I slept for like 4 hours today. There's a damn good reason for that as well, and I'm bloody pissed, but I'll tell you that story in a little bit. Actually, tell you what, I'll tell you that story after the break. I'm going to grab a sip of water, and I'll see you guys then. So, I will let the game play, though, because I'm just waiting, and if there's an important event, it'll pause time anyway, so, yeah. See you in a couple of seconds. I'll just go and grab something to drink. Oh god, what have I missed? Okay. No, don't put water above a piece of drawing you've been working on for the last 3 weeks. Not a good idea. Let them handle it. Administrative. We'll handle it. Okay. Muscovy, end of internal conflicts. New trade goods, naval supplies. Behold something other than fish. Ravensburg, okay. Native uprising, we killed it. Okay. Conversion successful. My lord, our efforts have paid off. He leveled up. Okay. Pretty good, pretty good. All things considered, pretty damn good. Now, mission fulfilled. What mission is that? Discover the Americas. I thought establishing colonies there would count as discovering it prior to this, but okay. Settle in the Americas. Ooh, this provides a very nice buff. Okay, cool. We can also invest in a technology. Damn, okay. We'll invest in development instead, but tell you what. Recall this guy. And we'll send him over there, I think. Yeah, now go over to development. I haven't forgotten the story, don't worry. It's a story of betrayal, trust, innocence, and one uni student getting rather pissed off at the world, really. But primarily this one person in particular. Just check over here. Alright. Hello, Dape Gamer? Dape Gamer? I'm sorry. I don't know. Dape, whatever. Hello. The story, then, from before the break. So, the reason I slept for like 3 hours today was I was supposed to go to my uni town today and to meet a few people. Some mates from uni, right? No other reason, just to hang out with them, because I haven't seen them in like a couple of weeks. So I'm like, yeah, you want to go for a drink? And I'll come by. It's like an hour and a half probably of driving from here to there. Now, the problem is, I don't have a license, nor do I own a vehicle, right? So, I need someone else to transport my fat ass over there. And fair enough, there's a dude that goes over there. Apparently, my father's friend or something like that is driving. Has some business over there, and he's like, yeah, I'll take you. Fair enough, I set up everything with the guys over there. My plan is to wake up at 10, grab a bite to eat, get in the car, drive over there, have a couple of drinks at like 1 PM. Yeah, I know, it's just not the best time. And then come back because I have stuff to do over here. Not just a live stream, but like there's other stuff to do as well. And like come back here by, I don't know, like 4 or 5 PM, 6 PM, something like that. Depends on when he's coming back. Doesn't matter. Like a couple of drinks with friends, all fine and dandy. Last night, I phone him and I ask him like, yo, we're good, we're going, yeah? Because I've arranged everything with those mates. Dude goes, yeah, everything's fine, we're going. Alright, cool, awesome. I wake up at 10 PM. Sorry, I didn't wake up at 10 PM. I wake up at 10 AM. Grab a bite to eat. 11:15 comes. No car in sight. I ring the dude. No response. It is currently local time, I think around 6 PM. I am yet to receive a response from the person that was supposed to drive me over there. Could you not get a bus or something? Had I known, I would have gotten on the bus at 10:30. Now, the only bus leaving from here to there is at 4:30 PM. I can't get back on time because the bus back leaves at 7:30. and I need to be somewhere at 7. It... Basically, right? I'm a rather punctual man, right? I have time to fluff about and then to do stuff for fun, and I have time to waste, and I have time as long as it's planned out, right? I have plenty of time in my day for you, whoever you may be. Plenty of time, don't worry. Just for the love of God, tell me. I has an EU4 challenge. Go! Yeah, sure, why not? But just, I'm a very punctual man. Just tell me. If you can't make it, fine. Tell me. Don't leave me up to dry until 5 minutes before we're supposed to do something. Rather pissed off. And not because of not going, because, yeah, right, fair enough, I'll go, like, a couple of days from now. I can't go tomorrow, so I'll go out in a couple of days. Fair enough. Because of that, and because I've made plans with people already. There's like 6 people I called that live over there that I was supposed to meet. And now I need to call them, and I need to cancel. And that's awkward, right? Because I'm usually the punctual one that gets upset about cancellations and stuff. So, it's just... It's nothing else, it's just that. I'm a little bit frustrated at the fact that I have to cancel now with people, and I have to... Because now I seem like the arsehole, and I'm usually, like, pretty... Like, not openly, but internally, at the very least, I'm pretty sensitive about stuff like last-minute cancellations and stuff like that. That's one of the things that sort of frustrates me the most. It's a bit of a personal quirk, I admit. Like, it's not... I don't know, maybe it's not exactly normal, but... Still, it's annoying. What is the challenge, though? Yes, I said shoot. I was gonna ask, believe it or not, I was gonna ask towards the beginning of the stream, if anyone has any sort of challenges or anything for England right now, what I'm playing, then yeah, I'll more than happily go for that, because right now I'm just sort of sitting around waiting for colonies to finish and exploring, because I don't want to... Well... There's multiple reasons for that. I can get into them, and I probably will. Main reason being, conquest is just not really worth it nowadays in EU4. It can be, but wrong religion, wrong culture, wrong overseas territories, right? That's 3 of those combined make it so that a province that you conquer in the, I don't know, anywhere in Europe pretty much at this point, as England, is almost worthless. So I'll give you a good example. Anjou. With autonomy 0 is providing 0.67 tax. Total 1.13 gold. This is a good province. Do you know what the problem is? It's the wrong culture. This means that the local tax modifier is reduced by 1/3, manpower reduced by 1/3, missionary strength reduced by 2%. Terrible. I'll give you an even worse example. I think I have one. Ah, here we go. These 2 provinces around Paris. Now, you'd expect these to be... Look at that. 45 development. No, sorry. 14 and 16 development. That's the cost. 14 and 16 development. Glorious provinces, right? 0.02... Sorry, 0.22 tax. 0.19 tax. 75 autonomy. Can't be lowered because it's not a state. Wrong religion, wrong culture. It's almost worthless. Almost worthless. Meanwhile, having a personal union with France gives me a crap ton of gold and a crap ton of... gives me an ally as well. It's awesome, right? Personally controlling all of it. Integrating France is different, though, because then you... French, or it's Francian, right? Francian, whatever, becomes a major culture and it gets accepted and you can start converting religion and stuff like that. Then it gets sort of a little bit foggier. So my challenge is to colonize Australia and call it New Ireland. Done. It's not done yet, but yeah, sure, of course. Problem is, it's going to take a while, because I'm now just tapping into America. Australia, down there. Australia, as they say, down there. Take a bit of a while to get there, but yes, I fully intend on recreating the British Empire plus France, because the British sort of lost France due to lost territories in France due to sort of, well, losing wars with France, right? Well, I've won those wars, and I want to keep France. Keep France, keep what is sort of traditionally Britain, and eventually probably go for Gibraltar later, because we do have a mission to take Gibraltar. Problem is, though, I did take it. I held Gibraltar for a time. I occupied it from Granada, the Muslim duchy here. It didn't let me. It didn't let me keep it after the war because I couldn't core it because I had nothing nearby it or something like that. I think it was due to colonial range. I couldn't get to it. I couldn't core it that for those reasons. Maybe. But I'll probably get it with the imperialism CB, and I've been looking a little bit online as to what's the best way to get it. Like 1700s and imperialism CB seems to be the way most people do it. So, yeah, fair enough. And by then, Spain will lose all of this here in Europe too, most likely. So, seems like a good way to do that. Just to wait and focus on other stuff. Global tariffs increase. You know what? Yeah, we really need another idea though, and we need a military idea because I've spent like probably a couple of 1,000 points on military development. That's way too much. Well, that is way too much. We could be spending that on like getting more manpower or getting better troops, getting better stats on your troops. That's worthwhile, right? But tell you what, it's fun. As much as they've added 16 different new sliders and tabs for you to look at, and edicts are another thing entirely, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can remove. Huh. I'm pretty sure it didn't used to be like this. I'm pretty sure this changed. I don't know when. It could have been like a couple of months ago. Or maybe last year even. But I'm pretty sure edicts changed. Because now you can sort of turn them on and off at will. And that actually, and for free as well. You don't need to spend any power to do it. Which actually makes them kind of useful at this point, right? Because right now, what am I converting? I'm converting this, okay? Let's buff missionary strength. There we go. We'll pay a little bit of money. It's like 0 point something ducats. It's like 1.5 ducats, maybe something like that. 1 ducat-ish. For the state in exchange for converting all the provinces faster. And that's more than worth it, in my opinion. You can do the same for like when you're at war and when you need manpower and stuff like that. So it's actually a little bit more useful now, the edicts. But they've added so many things to click, so much to do. It is fun though. It is fun. I especially like the late game in this. I think, though power seems like you seem to never have enough of it, and not in a good way, which is. It's a little bit difficult to explain, so I'll try and use some other game. For example, like money in most RPGs, or levels and gear and stuff in most RPGs. You never have enough, so you're constantly grinding to get more, but the grind itself is usually fun, and acquiring this gear is rewarding and fun. Here, what seems to be... England gets a claim on something. Castile gains diplomatic insult... Alright, you know what? Fuck you, Castile. Alliance dissolve. There we go. I'm gonna break our alliance with Castile. Sod them. Do I have a... Yeah, I have a royal marriage, so we'll need to wait for everyone to die off. But, sod Castile, we'll look for allies elsewhere. Aragon is theirs. Poland is great, Poland is strong, but Poland is a little bit far away. Denmark doesn't like me. Let's go to the ledger. Go to the ledger, and this, for anyone relatively new or not that great at EU4, just open up the ledger and you've increased your skill by like 50%. Trust me. Because this is not every EU4 game, not every EU4, not every Paradox game has this. A ledger to show you pretty much everything. Like, pretty much anything you want to know about any country in the world, you can see more or less directly through the ledger. Their income, their development, the amount of manpower they have, the amount of soldiers they have right now on the field of battle, how much they can hire, you can calculate as well by looking at the amount of money they have, the amount of income they have, and the amount of manpower they have. So, like, before declaring a war, you can pretty much calculate everything to an exact science through the ledger. You don't have to. Sometimes just looking at the total amount of men they have isn't enough, but it's worth it. It's worth it. It's good. It's good. Poland, then. Enemy of an enemy. You should be willing to... Distance between borders, not the same religion, neutral attitude. And you don't want to become my ally either. The Pope obviously hates me. Unfortunately, there's no strong central power in Germany. Because that will be my second option. I'll tell you what, we don't exactly need an ally, because Castile won't declare war on me, and if they do, I have 40,000 men ready to fight, plus Austria and France together. And France nearly beat Castile and Austria alone. Well, mind you, with Venice as well. But actually, you know what? That's a good idea. Just gave myself a decent idea. What about Venice? Allied to rival. It's not going to happen, is it? Okay. Rip Spain. Well... kind of. I don't know. I don't really want to fight them because, again, I wouldn't get much out of it. I could take Gibraltar, but I wouldn't get much out of it. Obviously, I'm talking about fighting them when when I break, or not break really. I'm just cancelling it. When I cancel all of this, and when the royal marriage expires, because doing it before then is career suicide. But like fighting them wouldn't get me much, because here's the kicker: I can't take any of this territory because it belongs to the HRE. And if you think that this is pretty bad with 75% autonomy, wait until you get a province in the HRE when there's like a minus 200% penalty. Not literally, but that's what it feels like. Like it stacks on top of this as well, so it's like literally a useless province. And that, I kind of dislike that about EU4, honestly. Like, I like the game. I play the game, like, I have a couple of thousand hours in EU4 easily. I can check, but it's not that easy to check because I haven't owned the game legitimately always, and I own 2 copies of it. Don't ask. Just don't ask. One is free, the other one's not, and yeah, one has all the DLC, one doesn't. But hey, you know, it's 2 different accounts, and it's complicated life. Complicated life. That it's just sort of happened, you know. I own 2 copies of it on 2 separate accounts, so I need to calculate both the hours and I need to log into both accounts, and I have no idea how much exactly I have. Plus, I've played the game for like a couple of years, I think, like a year or 2 years with a pirated copy as well. So yeah, overall, a couple of thousand hours in EU4. I love the game, I obviously do, and I still play it, but like 75%. Look at that. You're telling me that the local tax is reduced by 75% due to some fairly arbitrary reason of autonomy, which I cannot lower. It hides... Whoops, I just punched the microphone. It hides a lot of the sort of almost balance issues, but not really. Behind this veil of modifiers and buffs. EU4 is a game of modifiers, basically. But it hides them behind this veil of modifiers and red text. And there's too much of it, and there's too little you can do about certain things when realistically you could be you should be able to. Because I have 40,000 men. You're telling me with 40,000 men I can't walk into Valois and extract a little bit more out of taxes, which, you know, stop the 75% from going into the ether. And here's the thing, they do go into the ether. If it were different, if it was like 75% go to your treasury, but... Oh, sorry, 75% less go to your treasury, but the remaining tax is invested in the local province, then that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? That'd be good, because the money is going somewhere. This way, 75% of the tax is going... literally is being dumped into the sea. Because it isn't going anywhere. So... Or you say, well, okay, you could say it's not being taxed at all. You don't take 100% of the tax, you take, 25% of the tax. Yes, but then that would mean that the citizens here are 75% richer than the citizens here. Or, no, here more specifically. That's zero autonomy. This should, again, yield some benefits in development, maybe, over the course of some time. Like, over the course of 300 years, surely you'd see a result, right? You'd see an economic shift. But no, there is literally nothing that happens, so... These modifiers is the one thing that sort of, I sort of dislike a little bit. But, like I said, it's not like a game-breaking thing, or whatever. Good game. I like the game. I'll play the game into for God knows how long to come, but still, it's there's little tiny quirks and things that I'd like to change. But then again, you say that, but I've played mods which eliminate this, and then it's too easy, right? It's too easy, and it becomes Hearts of Iron, essentially. Taking a province in the HRE is like fully annexing Ming. Yup. Basically. Well, even then, fully annexing Ming, you can sort of deal with, kind of. Well, you get distant overseas too, but it's a lot of provinces, and it sort of stacks up to something. So what I'm getting at is fully annexing Ming, even with the overextension and the stability issues and the revolts and all of that, even when you pay for all of that and when you bleed your men out for all of that, the end result is useful. It's not very useful, the modifiers are still dog-awful. They're awful, completely awful, but it is useful. You become more powerful. You get land force limit, you get, not a lot, but you get a little bit of taxation out of it, you get trade, you get a lot of trade from it. Taking one province in the HRE, though, is hell, taking 6 provinces in the HRE is literally nothing. It's literally a waste of time. It is, though. Like, another sort of route you can take is to try and get into the HRE and become the elector, or become an elector and then become emperor. Right? Then now you're cooking with fire, right? Now you're cooking with fire because you can work towards unifying the HRE, and even if that doesn't work, you can make all your provinces become a part of the HRE, which gives you a lot of certain privileges and benefits within the HRE, namely authority. Right? And then you're cooking with fire. And I've seen, actually, England become Emperor of the HRE. AI England become Emperor of the HRE, which is hilarious. Bringing in women. Look, this is horrible. You're importing widowed women to... And this is horrible. It really is. But yes, please. I mean, you are creating a paradise of sorts, of some pervert's imagination, but you are creating someone's paradise over there. First the Amazons, then the widows. Nobody is safe. We're going to import French women next. Yeah, then we are in a personal union with them. Hell, maybe some of these guys here that pay only 25% of the taxes. I think they'll pay more if we move into the new world. Yeah, hell, that'd be useful. Yeah, you get a ton of coalitions for just that. Ooh, yay! That's another thing too. Well, it depends on what difficulty you play, and it's kind of. I'm often tempted to lower the difficulty quite a bit, and sort of mostly because of aggressive expansion. Because you don't need. Ooh, this is a problem now, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, it is. There we go. AD influence. When does it expire? What's the first thing that expires for them? Zone of trade, city with at least 30 development control provinces, base is 10. And then we have granted monopolies 10%, lasts until 10th of January 1520. What about... We need to get a little bit desperate here. What about revoking something from them? Where was I? Yes, that's why I'm tempted to sometimes play on like lower difficulties to reduce the aggressive expansion impact, and trade-off to be that I sort of never mothball the forts or never reduce army maintenance, or just to sort of artificially make my life a little bit tougher economically, because most of the difficulty stuff you get is economic. You get economic boosts, and you get a national revolt risk reduction, which is okay sometimes as well. Depends on how ridiculous they can get. Estates. Can I check which belong? Yeah, this one belongs to you. Okay. Now here, revoke. This will decrease their loyalty by 9.8 to 45.13. That's perfect. And their influence will reduce as well. Good. 45 is acceptable, right? Yes, it is. There we go. Easy. And they don't complain about territory either. So, we also lowered autonomy here, didn't we? Ha! Indeed we did. Okay, good. Global settler increase. Very useful. Can I get this? Not yet. Okay, so it is time to grab this. Let me look at chat, because I haven't in a while. I've been focusing on stuff here. So yes, I was talking about the coalitions that you get. True, you do get coalitions. And the worst part of it, well, I don't know what the worst part of it is, but the AI often cheats with those coalitions too. The AI often cheats, period, and that's like another pet peeve I have to a greater or lesser extent. And I think the AI has been cheating less and less in games, or in Paradox games especially, recently. Well, unless you turn up the difficulty explicitly to make them cheat, but I don't like cheating AI in video games. For the sake of difficulty. I really don't like cheating AI. It just feels wrong, especially if you catch them cheating. It just feels like no, right? No, because I guess my brain works differently, because you work on a set of rules that should be universal, right? So tax is tax, right? Modifiers are modifiers that you get. A 12 development province is a 12 development province. Just because it's controlled by the AI, it doesn't get to behave like a 16 development province, right? No, I don't like cheating AI, I really don't. Even if not cheating AI makes it too easy, I'd rather play that than play against a difficult AI which cheats. Like, if you want to make a genius AI that can play the game better than I do, have it kick my ass 50 times, I actually enjoy it. I actually enjoy the challenge of being beaten. It's kind of like playing chess or playing StarCraft, because I used to play StarCraft quite a lot. It's kind of playing chess or something like that, because you know that you both have the exact same set of rules. He's just better at you, or he thought of something you didn't, or maybe you weren't feeling it at the moment, or whatever, you know? And that's interesting. To me, that's interesting, and I could lose like 50 different times to the same opponent, but I evolve, I learn something, or I learn what not to do. You know, you get sort of get all sorts of stuff, little stuff like that happening if I was beaten. But if he cheated and beat me because he cheated in 5,000 manpower that I didn't have, or he spawned in another stack of 30 soldiers, or another 30,000 soldier stack right there, and beat me because of that, you know, then it's less enjoyable. I feel like it's not like game breaking again. I mentioned this 100 times. It's not game breaking or anything, but still, it's a little bit less enjoyable. And the AI cheats, but they've been doing it less and less. They also do kind of stuff that the players can do and that they can't, and that they can't. So it's ultimately fair in terms of the AI behavior. Case in point, estates, they don't interact with them, and interacting with estates is how I got here. So, you know, there is that to consider. But we are working on the Ireland, the Scotland thing, Scotland thing, Australia Ireland thing. Yes, we are working on it. It's just gonna take ages. Let's focus on a mission. Let's find a mission and let's focus on that in the meantime. So conquer Brittany. Can't do that yet. There's a truce. The English Empire. This will happen with the turning of the age in 9 months. So there's something to look forward to. State-controlled religion. There's not a country in the world that used religion more efficiently than England for its own state purposes. There we go. Church power is at 89%. We're nearly... Ooh, Minigan became self-sufficient. Let's start moving down here, because this place is Arctic. You know, all these places are very cold. I should have moved down here, but I want to set up Canada, goddammit. Army von Dubrovnik? Really? Alright. 7 months until the turning of the age, as it were. No, it's not. There's not going to be a dragon that comes and eats everyone. It's just cute little phrase. We could improve relations a little bit more with France. It's a really funny situation that there's not a lot to do with diplomats right now. It's kind of weird. Meanwhile, exactly 40 years into the search for El Dorado, the Army of Scotland is not giving up, and I just find it hilarious that we have 6,000 angry Scots in kilts plowing through the Americas in search of El Dorado, and yet they have found nothing so far. The best thing that they found was a village full of Amazons, which, granted, congratulations, but it's not extremely beneficial to the state, I'm afraid. It is hilarious, though, to imagine 6,000 Scots in kilts just for 40 years straight running through the Americas in search of El Dorado. It's behind this hill, I promise you. I'll stop, but still. Okay, how long have we been doing for? 2 hours. Oh, time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're having rum as well. Which is why I initially wanted to say. What about our Navy? 54 out of... Oh no, 49 out of 54. Let's build some caravels. We have the money for it. In this sort of bay-ish area. We use them to protect trade, probably up here somewhere a little bit. Because it won't damage the ships, but it will add trade power, I think, too. Or maybe in London, who knows? We'll see. We'll see what's most efficient when we build them. And we'll have you drill to... Where are we with army professionalism? Nearly. We're 1 point something% off. At this point, it's sort of a slow stage, whereas for the first few dozen years, you had nothing but warfare and establishing front lines here and there, and securing provinces and securing alliances and stuff. Now you sort of get into a little bit of a slower pace in the game, where you primarily just focus on... Great, a couple of those. A couple more. Primarily just focus on modifiers. Primarily just focus on getting stuff done. Which requires nothing but time and for you to wait. That waiting does get you pretty damn far, as you're about to see in... right now. There we go. We've integrated Scotland. So this can go away. And this can go away too. Can we keep the ship? I think we can keep the ship. Do we need to wait for a little bit of time to pass by? I think I do. Maybe I don't. Let's expand you. How many ships can I... I'm still 1 over the limit. Okay. In that case, let's not build this one. Wait, what ship are you building? Galleys? No! No. Not galleys, caravels. This is the second time I'm making this mistake today. Did I really click galleys? Oh my god. In my game, Theodoro has Muscovy as a vassal. I just noticed that. What? Wait. Theodoro has Muscovy as a vassal. You sure that's not the other way around? What are they doing in my game? I hear they're allied with Muscovy. They're on the right track, mate. They're on the right track. I mean, they got the idea, all right? They start off allied to, or like a vassal or something to the Eastern Roman Empire, to Byzantium, don't they? That is funny. Because they're allied here as well. That's... I mean... No, they have them as a vassal. And they're invading Denmark. What on earth is... So Theodoro, hand in hand with Muscovy, as a vassal, is invading Denmark. Now, the two of them being allies, I can get, because they're both Orthodox. Their culture group is Gothic. Their culture group is Muscovite. They're close enough, right? They're close enough to be allies. They're fairly likely to become allies. Theodoro vassalizing Muscovy, though, is not something I can see ever happening in this game. Theodoro, with Muscovy invading Denmark, which is on the other side of Europe as far as they're concerned. Okay. I've seen Theodoro once grow round the size of modern day Ukraine plus Crimea. Right? Seen them grow right around that size. Never bigger than that. And even then, they were constantly being attacked by people. They were constantly being bullied around, losing territory. But their highest was slightly smaller than modern day Ukraine. Again, plus Crimea. So it's really amazing. I've seen a screenshot of Theodoro controlling like all of Eastern Europe. They're signing as vassal to Byzantium. Is it vassal or a march? I think that changed too. I think at one point they were a march, at one point they were a vassal. There's something down there as well, something like Athens and Achaia and some of the islands as well. And then they change that quite often too. Sometimes it's some of them used to be marches to start with, then they were vassals again, and then they were marches again, and then update to update that they tweak those things. Because Byzantium is so goddamn powerful, you just have to nerf them. You just make sure that their start isn't too strong. Ottomans are fine. It's perfectly balanced. Byzantines, though, you make sure you nerf those every now and again. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay. And these natives are very aggressive. These guys aren't. We have 4 colonies anyway. What 4 colonies do we have? This is still not a full developed city. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Conversion successful. And another one. We should convert London next for Unity. I probably should have. Hey, the Age of Reformation. We're sort of ahead of the curve a little bit, and by a little bit I mean quite a lot, because we've reformed and it happened, right? And it's all good, and we're now sort of in the finishing stages of the Reformation rather than the beginning where you'd expect to find yourself now. As religious unity, at least 75%. Yeah, now that's we do get a looming disaster now, which is a bit of a problem. We will pass this though, because we don't want to be overly tolerant of the heretics, specifically of the Catholics at this point. Control state religion. What does it do? It does very, very nice things for us. So thank you for that. The English Empire. Now that is something we can work towards, and that is something I'd like to see. How do we get it though? It's, what was it? It's total development? Yes. So you need at least 1,000 total development to increase your government rank to Empire. And currently we do not have that capability. Okay, so there's 2 things I'm looking forward to, and they both involve quite a bit of waiting, I'm afraid, but like until 1520, there's nothing but waiting to do. The Theodoro AI vassalized Muscovy, and Muscovy has lots of has a lot of vassals. Well, you can't. Can you do that? Let's check. I don't know where. Ottomans, probably? Or the Mamluks? They tend to have vassals? No, of course they don't. just to spite me, they decided not to. Ah! Here you go. The Great Horde. The Golden Horde. It's called the Great Horde. Since when is it called the Great Horde? It's the Golden Horde. Look, this has been a weird trip, but I'm pretty sure that used to say the Golden Horde for like the longest period of time. Or I just have I have just misread this for the rest of eternity, for like all eternity. For like the last 7 years, I've been misreading this as the Golden Horde. This used to say Golden Horde for sure. I'm positive that used to be Golden Horde, or the Golden Horde, I'm not sure now. Can you do that, though? Here's what I mean. Can you vassalize someone who has vassals? You should be able to, right? Should be able to. But what happens when you do that? Do the vassals become your vassals then? Or do they become independent? That's new too. I mean, that's new. It's relatively new too. I know you can't peacefully vassalize someone who has vassals. That's different. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm pretty sure you can vassalize them through like a forced vassalization, through war. That's funny. That's very, very funny. Okay, where am I with religious unity? I do not have religious unity. We do not know what that is. Okay. Fair enough. In which case? In which case? What we should do is go on over to London town. We can't enact an edict in London, okay, but we can enact an edict over here. This is an estate. We can enact estates in London. This is an estate. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay. Edict. And edict. Good. Now, over here, we want to turn off all the edicts that we activated. Because we don't want them getting in the way of economic progress. Huh? Here, we're going to grab this edict too. To increase local missionary strength. Good. Okay. Problem is, I'm just looking for ways to avoid the disaster. Problem is, the stupid queen of ours, our lovely queen, is female. And we can't become the defender of the faith. The defender of the faith, among other things, gets an extra missionary. And now 3 missionaries working on it, working at the same time in England, then we could avoid the disaster. But the way things are right now, unlikely. Let's just say unlikely. Polska. I would like to improve my relations with you and grab you as an ally, if at all possible. Castile doesn't like me. Portugal kind of likes me. Let's improve relations with Portugal a little bit. Okay. Liberty desire of France is still 66%. That is a problem. Now, 50-52 is when I can integrate you. That's a long time. That's a long time to be catering you, in a way. Okay, we've converted the heretics of Hull. Now, I'm gonna start converting stuff, but very, very targeted. Stuff with most religious unity impact first. So obviously we're gonna have to start in London. and we can select an aspect of faith. I have to go with missionary strength. Good thing is you can change these very often. Well, very often. You can change these relatively often. So now it takes 5 months to convert stuff. Okay. It's not ideal, but could be better, could be worse sort of situation. Castilian Venezuela. Okay. Well, they do have a massive head start on me because of these colonies here. Canaries. So, I suppose it's only fair, but stay in South America. Fight the Aztecs and the Sioux and the people down here. Leave North America to me, and we won't have a problem. English Côte Nord. English Newfoundland. Newfoundland, yes, but it's Newfoundland. Look. Whatever rocks your boat, but my question is, when do these things become independent? And do they? Exploration finished. Lovely. And go and explore some more. Atlantic, South America Sea, South Atlantic Sea, West African Sea. Explore the seas first, and then we'll have an idea about where we can... Like, land is at this point less relevant because we have stuff to colonize up here already. And we'll send people to do that. But sea, we need an idea of what's what. Just really quickly, I'm going to take a look at my advisors. No, none of them are increasing the land force limit, so we should build a few more men then. Cannons. Cannons, and then... So what are you at? 11-4, 11-5-4. Let's put you at 12. Put you at 12-2. Have a strong first front line, and then use the cavalry to flank. That is, by the way, how most armies should look. Again, I'm sort of treating this as more like a semi-tutorial / explanation thing for a lot of people, which well, maybe I should be, maybe I shouldn't be, but hey, I have to talk about something. Army composition is, I think, Command Delicious did a great video on army composition. There's a couple of videos on the internet. Between me and you, not all of them know what they're talking about, but shush. Arumba does. Arumba talked about this in the past quite a bit. Army composition goes as follows. Front line is infantry. Infantry is good at fighting in the front line. Cavalry is good at flanking. Cavalry is also a little bit better at fighting head-on than infantry, but hold off on that. Cavalry is also very good at reinforcing places where there's a breach. Artillery is amazing. However, artillery is shit at fighting in the front line. What it does do is it fires from behind. So artillery is always fighting, unlike cavalry and infantry. Artillery is, no matter how many of them you have, no matter where they are in the army, they're always firing. However, if you put them in the front line, they will get absolutely massacred because they're cannons and they're not very good at, you know, defending themselves against sharp, pointy sticks at close range. Far away, though, they're terrific. So, lots of cannons, lots of infantry, a little bit of cavalry on the flanks. There you go. And in reserve as well to sort of fill out the holes here and there. That's the general idea of how your army should look. Right, let's see. We have been streaming for around 2 hours now. And between me and you, I'm a little bit hungry. So we'll be ending this relatively soon. It's... Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first live stream I ever did on YouTube. I've streamed on Twitch a little bit back in the day. I streamed on Hitbox, but I'm pretty sure this is the first stream I did in or on YouTube. I need to protect trade in Bordeaux, because we do control that node as well. Oh, U2. Protect trade, Bordeaux. There you go, that should help. How close are we to hitting the disaster? 22%. There's a chance we avoid it. Not a very good chance, but it does exist. Indeed it does. Oxford's next. Sussex. Kent. Yeah, that's okay. Just with Ragusa and France, and so the HRE members ended. There we go. What about army professionalism? 19%. God, that ticks up ridiculously slowly. Mind you, it is sort of like a slider that is persistent throughout the game, and you lose it very rarely. I mean, you don't lose progress over time, and you just sort of lose progress very, very rarely with that thing, so... I suppose it's fair enough. But tell you what, though, we have exactly... Oh, never mind, we had exactly 54,000 men. That was mildly amusing. Another good bit of conversion. Target the thing with the most unity. Main, sure. Tolerance to true faith is now at 5. That's great, but unity is at 40%. That's at this rate. That we're gonna. People support the government. Odd. Not usually how it goes. Alright. Military leader left us. Ah! You died. Actually, right on time to be replaced by another one, so... You're kidding me. Okay, state firearm something. Land maintenance goes up, but army drill game modifier increased by quite a bit. We want that. That's good. You can also abolish it, but that would be stupid. But the heretics at Oxford. I'll get this place next. Alright. There we go. Tell you what though, I think that's been quite enough for this live stream. I'm going to check out the VOD, see how that looks, and if it's okay, if it's watchable, then I'll probably stream some more in the future. But yeah, thank you for tuning in live, for all of you that did, and for all of you watching the VOD later on, thank you as well. That'll be all pretty much for now. I'll see you guys next time. And, until then, have fun, take care, and bye-bye.